When Saudi Arabia is mentioned, most people would imagine a deeply conservative society with restricted rights, away from any form of modernity, and royals with a ton of oil money. The last thing you would think of would be a power player in many sectors of the modern capitalist world. Whether it's a big tech company, your favorite sport, airline, green tech, movie production, your go-to concert ticket platform, chances are Saudi Arabia owns some stake in it. So how does the kingdom own so many assets around the world, and why? Saudi Arabia has a sovereign wealth fund called the Public Investment Fund (PIF), which was created in 1971 with the aim of funding projects of strategic influence to the national economy. It is one of the largest funds in the world, estimated to own assets in the range of $700 to $900 billion. The fund spent a whopping $31.5 billion in 2023 on investments. The petro state plans to increase its annual deployment of capital to $70 billion a year after 2025, with assets under management to over $1 trillion. Under the current Crown Prince, Mohammed Bin Salman, the de facto ruler of the kingdom, the fund is deployed in pursuit of Vision 2030, an economic diversification plan to increase investments away from oil. These investments are made in Saudi as well as abroad. Let's take a look at some of the sovereign fund's high-profile investments. In 2020, the fund bought minority stakes in major American companies: Boeing, Alphabet, Amazon, Meta, Citigroup, Disney, and Bank of America, totaling to more than $2.7 billion. In the last few years, the kingdom has expanded investments in the sports world as well. It's not as simple as spending oil money. As revealed by documentation released in 2018, the kingdom indulges in aggressive lobbying in the United States through international lobbying firms that held meetings with the commissioners for Major League Soccer, Major League Baseball, as well as officials from NBA, WWE, and the Los Angeles Olympic Committee. In 2023, the golf world was shocked by the news of Saudi-backed Live Golf merging with its rival American PGA Tour. This was preceded by a 2-year-long costly and dramatic legal battle between the two bodies. In the end, money won. There was outrage among fans and golfers during the litigation, but as soon as the deal became public, those who signed with Live Golf became reserved. A PGA Tour representative, speaking on the condition of anonymity, told Vox, "These golfers are very opinionated. They've always been opinionated. They've been shy about sharing their opinions. Now, if you look at the people who have signed deals with Live, all of a sudden, they have no opinions whatsoever."
You're thinking about one of the biggest sovereign wealth funds in the world. Would you rather have them as a partner or an enemy? At the end of the day, money talks, and you'd rather have them as a partner.
It's boiling over at the end here at Stamford Bridge. It's Chelsea against Leeds.
Just like golf, Saudi Arabia has shaken up the soccer world using its financial muscle. In 2021, the Public Investment Fund of Saudi Arabia bought a majority stake in Newcastle United. The Saudi Pro League lured Portuguese soccer player Cristiano Ronaldo away from Europe for a staggering $315 million payout per season.
Yo sabía que ir para la Arabia y a abrir la cajita, y así que no me equivoqué.
Other top players who joined the league include Karim Benzema, who was offered a $400 million contract for 2 years, Sadio Mane, N'Golo Kante, Riyad Mahrez, Eduard Mendy, and Roberto Firmino. Given that soccer is the most influential sport worldwide, it is no surprise that Saudi wants to buy as many top players as possible. Critics argue that it is disheartening for those who love soccer, as it seems players are motivated more by cash than by passion when they leave their clubs in Europe. According to reports, Saudi's PIF offered to buy Formula One for $20 billion from Liberty Media, who currently own the series, but the offer was rejected. They already own stakes in the sport through their Aramco sponsorship and the Jeddah Formula One track. The kingdom, other than its own motorsport events, also hosts extreme races and the famous Dakar Rally in the desert. WWE already hosts a major event called Crown Jewel every year in the country. There are rumors of the sovereign wealth fund's interest in buying WWE, but there is no official confirmation yet. The fund invested around $400 million in UFC, which was returned by the parent company Endeavor. Now, Saudi is investing in a mixed martial arts league, PFL, the Professional Fighters League, to expand it in the Middle East with headquarters in the kingdom itself. With the potential of big money behind the PFL and a $1 billion lawsuit against the UFC over fighters' pay, it all feels like a reminder of how things panned out in professional golf. The future of UFC looks uncertain at the moment. The PIF has also offered to buy a multi-billion-dollar stake in IPL, Indian Premier League, but nothing is confirmed as of yet. Saudi oil company Aramco already has a major partnership with the International Cricket Council. In 2021, the fund bought stakes in American video game companies Electronic Arts, Take-Two Interactive and Activision Blizzard by spending $8 billion for the acquisition. As of 2023, the Sovereign Wealth Fund owns 8.26% stock in Japanese video game maker Nintendo, making it the largest outside investor in the company. The Red Sea International Film Festival, hosted by Saudi Arabia, was attended by many famous Hollywood stars like Sharon Stone, Guy Ritchie, Spike Lee, Michelle Rodriguez, Henry Golding, Lucy Hale, Andrew Dominic, and Scott Eastwood. According to The Hollywood Reporter, the opening red carpet welcomed enough stars to have impressed Cannes. Searchlights, The Banshees of Inisherin, and Empire of Light, Neon's Triangle of Sadness, and MGM's Bones and All were among the films screened at the festival. The fund owns a 5.7% stake valued at $500 million in concert distributor Live Nation, which owns Ticketmaster. Saudi Arabia has built the Maraya Concert Hall, which is the world's largest mirrored building in the ruins of Al Ula, a UNESCO World Heritage Site in northwestern Saudi Arabia. In early 2019, Mariah Carey became the first female international artist to perform in Saudi Arabia. In the same year, global superstars BTS were invited by the Crown Prince to add the kingdom as a stop on their world tour, which made headlines worldwide. Most recently, Saudi also hosted the famous K-Con event. The term pop washing has been used by some to describe this push. The government plans to spend a lot of money to boost tourism in the country over the next decade. How much? Well, brace yourself. $800 billion. This is quite interesting given that the country opened itself up to foreign tourists for the first time only 5 years ago. Not to mention, the football icon Lionel Messi has been roped in by the kingdom for $25 million to be their tourism ambassador. Giga projects such as the Red Sea Project, The Line, which is part of NEOM, the Diriyah Project, the Qiddiya Project, which will feature the much talked about Dragon Ball theme park, are some of the many projects under construction. Recently, Saudi Arabia announced its participation in the Miss Universe pageant. For a country and culture that is known for restricting the rights of its female population in particular, this surely comes as a surprise. Amongst all this, the kingdom faces widespread criticism, especially from the West, over its record surrounding human rights and is being accused of sports washing and pop washing to improve its image. The conflicting values and laws of the Middle East and the West are the source of such accusations. Meanwhile, Western institutions and companies keep accepting Saudi money. For all the moral lectures the rest of the world bears from them, the West seems to throw its own morals out for capitalism way too often. And what does the state have to say about these accusations?
What do you say to the people who charge that that's part of sports washing, that you're trying to use all of that to somehow improve or somehow affect your image in the world?
Well, if it's sport washing going to increase my GDP by 1%, and then I will continue doing sport washing.
You're okay with that term?
I don't care. I have 1% growth of GDP from sport, and I'm aiming for another 1.5%. call us whatever you want, we're going to get that 1.5%.
All that we have talked about here is just the tip of the iceberg. The kingdom has many investments worldwide and is actively on the lookout for more. By participating in international markets, the Sovereign Wealth Fund helps expand Saudi Arabia's global influence and further wealth accumulation for the kingdom. These investments have the potential of shaping global politics and economics with long-term effects as the kingdom looks to expand its economic footprint.